WLFI Lafayette.
Now from TV 18, Lafayette's news leader, Matt Olson, weather with Bill Larson, and Clayton Duffy Sports. This is Lafayette Live, TV 18 News at 11.
Good evening, everyone. At this moment, Lafayette firefighters are battling a blaze at the Tippecanoe County Courthouse. Mike Piggott is down at the courthouse right now. He joins us live by phone with a report. Mike.
Matt, an eerie situation at 11 o'clock. The bell is tolling at the Tippecanoe County Courthouse, and yet there's a situation developing here that's reminiscent of Oklahoma City. Someone within the past hour drove a pickup truck with fuel oil in the rear end through the east doors of the Tippecanoe County Courthouse. That fuel oil ignited and is burning. There is a significant smell of fuel oil near the courthouse. Police have cordoned off about a block or two areas surrounding the courthouse. No traffic is being allowed through downtown Lafayette. The situation as we have it. First, Sheriff Dave Murtaugh tells me that someone drove a pickup through those doors, barreled through, and got several feet inside the courthouse. Whether that person abandoned the vehicle, we don't know, but someone indeed drove a pickup through the courthouse door. I talked to County Commissioner John Kanako, who was up close until he was moved away a short time ago. Kanako said that about 5 minutes ago, he told me that that fuel oil and the pickup truck is still burning, and he estimates it's 10 to 12 feet inside the door. We weren't able to get close enough to really see the pictures that were on your screen. We were able to get for you before our photographers were moved away. But the situation right now is that people have been evacuated. Now, here's what they've done, though. They've hooked up a truck, a wrecker of some sort, or else an emergency vehicle, and they're trying to latch on to that pickup truck and pull it outside of the courthouse. Now, this is a dangerous situation, they tell me, and that's why they're moving people away. But they're trying to get it outside. We have some reporters close by, but I haven't been able to find out yet if it's actually been moved outside of the courthouse. But what we can tell you is that the area is cordoned off. There are a number of emergency workers around there. There's no way you're going to be able to get anywhere near downtown, or at least the courthouse square, until this situation is resolved. Police are blocking traffic on Columbia, on Ferry Street, and then also to the western approaches to the courthouse, as well as at South Street. No traffic is being allowed through. Situation, as we can tell you, is someone has driven a pickup truck into Tippecanoe County Courthouse. It is on fire. There is a threat, but at this point, there has been no explosion. There have been no injuries, to the best of our knowledge. There is an ambulance standing by. Whether or not that person who drove it in is still in that truck, we have no idea. We will let you know when we can. Sheriff Dave Murtaugh told us that he'll be down to talk to us. He said at 11. Hopefully, we'll be able to get with him just a few more minutes into the newscast, and hopefully be able to get you some more pictures as well as we set up our microwave signal. That's the situation as we have it at this moment here at the Tippecanoe County Courthouse, an emergency in downtown Lafayette. We have several reporters and photographers here, and we'll keep you posted as best we can. Reporting live from the Courthouse Square, I'm Mike Piggott, TV 18 News.
Mike, and there is no indication whether the individual who drove this truck into the courthouse has been taken into custody, whether he or she abandoned the vehicle. Right now, you really have no clue?
No idea, Matt. I don't know if the person is even still inside the vehicle. I doubt it. There were some firefighters inside, and certainly they probably would have seen that person, although at one point I thought they were moving them out. They sounded a blast of the horn off the fire truck, which is an evacuation signal, to get those people out of the courthouse again. However, it turns out that was an accident, and they sounded one short blast, and then again the folks who are fighting the fire were able to get back inside. I can't tell you at this point, from this vantage point, if the flames are still burning, but I can tell you that according to John Kanako, just about 6 or 7 minutes ago, that truck was still on fire.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mike Piggott. We'll try checking in with you a little later in the newscast for details on the update of the fire at the Tippecanoe County Courthouse. Well, in other news tonight, a Lafayette man is in serious We're going to go to downtown Lafayette now from an update on the developing situation at the Tippecanoe County Courthouse. Mike Piggott joins us live. Mike?
Well, Matt, the situation, as we reported at the start of the newscast, is that a pickup truck, apparently loaded with fuel oil, has been driven into the Tippecanoe County Courthouse. The area downtown has been cordoned off. With me is Sheriff Dave Murtaugh. Sheriff, you were here since shortly after this incident happened. Give us the description of what transpired.
The information that I received was it was a pickup truck that had driven through the police entrance side of the courthouse, on the east side of the courthouse, and was in the hallway between the magistrate's courtroom and the end of by the elevator. How far, I'm really not sure that it got inside. It was still on fire here until just recently. The fire department got it under control, and it's under investigation. We're not sure what was in the truck, why the vehicle was driven into the courthouse. We've got detectives on the scene down here. We're doing some door-to-door with Lafayette Police. Lafayette Fire's handling the fire investigation and the putting the fire out and seeing what it is. And we're going to be pulling the vehicle out of here as soon as they get it cooled down and stuff. There's extensive smoke damage, especially to the first floor and probably the second floor of the courthouse. And then we'll see what kind of other damage there is. We're just in the process of getting started on this.
Does it appear that the threat of an explosion is past?
Yes, it does. According to the fire department, we've had a command post set up. We moved the command post back even a little further, and we're moving it back up to 4th and Columbia right now. They've said that there's no danger of it at this time. So but we still don't know. We're very cautious at this time because this is obviously a very unusual circumstance, and we're handling it as a major crime scene right now.
Well, obviously that's the case, and it's certainly reflective of terrorist acts that have taken place, different than anything people in Lafayette are used to. What kind of investigation is taking place?
Right now, we've got some arson investigators here. We've got our evidence technicians here. Our investigative team's been called out so we can start an interview, and we'll pull together a joint team effort to do some interviews, and we're just now getting started on it. We just pulled the license plate out off the vehicle, and we'll obviously do some work after that. But it's just happened within the last hour now, and we're just getting started on it.
Can we assume that the person who drove that truck into the building abandoned it, took off?
Right now, I can't make any assumptions. We don't know where or what's going on, especially inside there, because the fire department is the only one that's inside there, and they're with air packs. It's very dense smoke, and the truck's still in there. I've briefly talked to the fire department, but we won't know more until we can get the truck out of there and check some other things out.
Have there been any threats that you're aware of, anybody at all who has done anything that might be suspicious that you might start looking toward?
At this time, I have no information that led us to anything like this might happen.
What do you know about the status of the courthouse? You mentioned that there is some smoke damage. Is there any fire damage in there that you're aware of?
Right now, until we can get some other people in there and get a lot of smoke cleared out of there, the fire department's the only one in there, and they're having to use air packs to get in there. So it's still pretty serious inside the courthouse. So when we get things out of there and be able to see, it'll be late into this evening or early in the morning before we really know any more about the damage in the courthouse.
So what will transpire as far as the investigation? I assume that because it is, even though it's within the city, the courthouse is county property, that you're ultimately in charge of the investigation. What's going to transpire?
We're going to head up the investigation. It'll be a joint investigation with the Lafayette Fire Department, and we'll probably pull in our multi-agency task for major crimes and activate some detectives from all agencies to help us interview people and run down leads. This is a very serious thing, and we're going to handle it with utmost urgency.
Tippecanoe County Sheriff Dave Murtaugh, thanks for coming by and explaining that much to you. And that is the situation as we have it. The courthouse area is still cordoned off in Lafayette, even though apparently now the threat of explosion has passed. That pickup truck is still inside the Tippecanoe County Courthouse. And reporting live from near the Courthouse Square, I'm Mike Piggott, TV 18 News.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mike. Mike Piggott reporting live from the developing situation at the Tippecanoe County Courthouse. We'll have more news after this. It's the story we've been covering all night. When fire just after 10 o'clock breaking out at the Tippecanoe County Courthouse. We will now return to downtown Lafayette, where Mike Piggott is standing by live. Mike.
Well, as you can see, we were able to move up a bit closer to the courthouse now, and what you're looking at is the east door. That would be the 4th Street side of the Tippecanoe County Courthouse. As we reported several times during this newscast, someone drove a pickup truck through those doors into the street level of the courthouse, and it was burning. There was apparently some diesel fuel, although that hasn't been confirmed as what it was, but the smell was pretty clear of diesel fuel coming from the courthouse area. Sheriff Dave Murtaugh is with me. We talked a short time ago. What kind of an update can you give us? What's happened?
Really, we've been activating our investigative units, and we've got our bomb technician, evidence technician from the Sheriff's Department in looking at the truck right now. We're calling out more people so that we can interview people and collect evidence and that kind of a thing right now. We're just getting the investigative team assembled right now and calling in extra manpower to see what we may have here.
The fire is out, right?
Fire is out. I haven't been back up there since I talked to you last, but when I left, the fire was under control and out, and I know that they're in there now looking the truck over more, so I believe that it is out, yes.
Have you had any indication from anybody yet about damage in the courthouse?
No, we don't have any information on that.
Obviously, the situation has settled somewhat, though, if nothing else, because you're able to let us come a little bit closer to the situation. So, at least, is there some relief here?
Well, I think we're still on a standby type mode. We've moved you closer so that we can let you know what's going on and let the people know what's going on. But we're still in a cordoned-off area, and it's still a volatile situation until we get that truck out of here and know exactly what's in it. It's still a dangerous situation downtown.
And what are the investigators who are away from the courthouse, what are they involved in doing?
Right now they're going door to door in the area here trying to see if anybody saw anything. There's a lot of apartments downtown here, especially around the courthouse, and they're interviewing those people and gathering information so then we can sit down and
Play along on Jeopardy! Weeknights at 7:30 on TV 18.
Now from TV 18, Lafayette's news leader, Mike Piggott, Laura DeAngelis, and weather with Brian Burton. This is Lafayette Live TV 18 News at 5.
Anytime someone drives a pickup truck with an improvised explosive device into the county courthouse to do damage is a form of terrorism.
Now area police are searching for the individual responsible for the damage. Good afternoon, everyone. The pickup truck that was driven into the courthouse and then set on fire had an improvised explosive device attached to it. Mike Piggott joins us from the courthouse with the latest. Mike?
Well, if there's a symbol of this community, Laura, it's this Tippecanoe County Courthouse, and the symbol that we all know so well has been scarred. And if you look right now, you can see the doorway that was invaded by a vehicle last night. Carpenters have been at work here for the past hour or so building a new frame around there, but actually all that frame is going to do is accept some plywood that's going to board up this courthouse probably by 6 o'clock. Now, we are told that within the next few minutes we should be able to get inside and we'll be able to give you a look at what transpired, at least at the aftermath of the damage inside the street level of the Tippecanoe County Courthouse. And we hope to do that perhaps by the time this newscast is over. If not, we'll certainly show you inside there on Lafayette Live at 6. Now, this all started last night when a pickup truck loaded with an explosive device moved through those doors, crashed through those doors. And Sue Scott has been putting together the details today, and here's the latest of what we know of what happened.
The fire alarms went off shortly after 10 o'clock. Someone crashed a pickup truck through the east doors of the courthouse and set the truck on fire.
All the glass was gone, the doorway was gone. I observed a pickup truck inside the courthouse, a fire on the ground.
Disaster was apparently averted when an improvised explosive device failed to detonate.
This device, which did not contain ammonium nitrate, was on board a pickup truck that was driven into the building by unknown suspects or suspect last night. The accelerant was also on board, which was ignited by the suspects. The ensuing fire caused substantial smoke and water damage to the lower floor of the Tippecanoe County Courthouse.
Sheriff Dave Murtaugh says it was a planned attack. The pickup truck was stolen last Wednesday, and police may have a suspect.
There was a white male in his late 40s, 6 foot, balding, seen in the area of the courthouse shortly after the explosion was heard at the courthouse.
Police are unaware of any prior threats, and they have no idea who may be behind what they are calling a terrorist attack. Sue Scott, TV 18 News.
Now, anyone with information on this situation is asked to contact a toll-free number at the Sheriff's Department. That number is 1-800-483-4133, or perhaps the ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, at 1-888-ATF-BOMB, ATF-BOMB. Anybody with any information is asked to contact those agencies and bring it to them. We asked the sheriff earlier this morning if they were receiving much information and many tips, and frankly, at that point they hadn't, and we haven't been able to get any update or any further situation as the day goes on. But it happened at such a strange time at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night that very few people would have been in the area to perhaps witness much of anything. We'll have more as the situation develops, and a complete report again on Lafayette Live at 6. Reporting live from the Courthouse Square, I'm Mike Piggott, TV 18 News.
Thank you, Mike. While investigators searched for clues in the smoke-seared courthouse, many Lafayette residents looked on with disbelief at the aftermath of last night's events. Many people who live and work in Lafayette say the threat of explosives in their courthouse or police lines stretching across the downtown were unimaginable until now. But many realize the community is part of a much bigger world where near tragic situations know no boundaries.
Lafayette's growing, and unfortunately we've got to accept that and accept, unfortunately, things that might happen in our community. I don't want to have to say we have to take the good with the bad, because we don't want to just settle for things like this that happen, but we'll just have to get to the truth of it and find out why it happened.
It's a huge wake-up call that it can happen just about anywhere you live.
It makes you think. I mean, I don't know, it's just weird that happened in a place where you feel comfortable, you know, after I haven't lived here that long, but I don't know, it's just shocking.
If that can happen here, it can happen in Oklahoma City, then where else could it happen?
While they deal with the shock, residents hope investigators will find enough clues to quickly track down whoever posed such a threat in their community. Area county commissioners are thinking twice about their courthouse security measures following last night's act in Tippecanoe County. Virginia Johnson joins us from the newsroom with more. Virginia?
Laura, the truck that had the gasoline barrels drove through an entrance where the Sheriff Department transports prisoners. Now, many area courthouses have similar driveways that give direct access to a courthouse entrance. And the Carroll County Courthouse in Delphi is one of those courthouses. Carroll County Commissioner Clara Ryder says security concerns were discussed at this morning's commissioners' meeting.
At this point, I guess we're just trusting that we won't have something terrible like this happen to us.
White County's courthouse sits on a square in downtown Monticello with courthouse access similar to that of Tippecanoe County's. White County Commissioner John Heimlich says the attack on Tippecanoe County's courthouse is a sad sign of the times.
You read about them in other parts of the country, I guess, but you don't think about them happening, you know, right here in your own backyard.
Crawfordsville's Montgomery County Courthouse also has a sheriff's interest in the back of the building. Montgomery County Commissioner Alan Plunkett says increased security is in the county's long-range plans, and they have already allocated funds for 24-hour surveillance cameras at the sheriff's entrance and the courthouse street corner. Now, Benton County Sheriff Butch Pritchett says the county courthouse in Fowler has one entrance that a person might be able to drive right up to, but he says that the sheriff's department is connected to the courthouse, so they would be able to react immediately. Also, Fountain County Commissioner Dave Ziegler says you can't prepare for everything, but he suggests placing posts in the driveways when security and sheriff's departments aren't using those driveways. Back to you, Laura.
Okay, Virginia Johnson, thank you very much, live from our newsroom. Well, there is a chance of rain this week. Brian joins us from the Forecast Center with details. Brian?
The Rosie O'Donnell Show, weekdays at 10 on TV 18.
Now from TV 18, Lafayette's news leader, Mike Pickett, Sue Scott, weather with Brian Burden and Rex Troutman Sports. This is Lafayette Live TV 18 News at 6.
Good evening. Mike is off tonight. Investigators are busy checking into at least 133 leads in the attempted bombing of the Tippecanoe County Courthouse. The team continues to wait for preliminary lab results on evidence gathered at the courthouse earlier this week. Analysis is being conducted on the improvised explosive device and on the contents of the two 55-gallon drums found on the pickup truck. The truck remains at Grissom Air Reserve Base. Tippecanoe County Sheriff Dave Murtaugh says the public is helping in the investigation.
If people have any information, we're encouraging them to call us so that we can follow up on it. And the investigation is continuing. We've got our multi-agency task force of investigators working this morning, and we had our meeting this morning and exchanged information and gave out new lead sheets to follow up on.
Sheriff Murtaugh says despite the number of leads, they have not found the man seen around the courthouse shortly before the fire started Sunday night. He is described as a white male in his late 40s, about 6 feet tall and balding. Anyone with information is asked to call the Sheriff's Department's toll-free number. It's 1-800-483-4133. The Tippecanoe County Courthouse will reopen for business tomorrow. Chris Morrissey has a progress report.
The army of contractors at the Tippecanoe County Courthouse is growing, and with strength in numbers, Maintenance Director Tom Meyer says the job of cleaning up soot and ripping out drywall soaked with diesel fumes is going smoothly.
They were back about 7:30 this morning in contacting with the commercial vendors there on the cleaning. They think they'll be done by 7, 8 o'clock tonight.
The first floor, which was hit hardest by the fire, will not be restored until next week. The second through fifth floors will reopen for business Thursday at 8 a.m. Commission President John Knockle says people will only be able to get in at the second floor entrances on the north, west, and south sides. None of the first floor entrances will be open.
By having everybody enter on the second floor level, they're bypassing that area. Also, they're not tracking that grit and grime and dirt up into the upper floors of the building.
Knockle says for now there will be no major changes in security.
I would hate to take that facility away from the people who it belongs to through extreme security measures.
A 1994 U.S. Marshals survey of the courthouse security suggested locking all but one set of entrances and screening everyone entering the building. Commissioner John Knockle says some of those recommendations could be incorporated into the courthouse. For now, he and the other two commissioners will sit down with the sheriff and judges to talk about possible changes. Chris Morrissey, TV 18 News.
If the arsonist was trying to strike back at the Tippecanoe County justice system, the courthouse fire will have little impact. Two judges, Don Johnson and Laura Zeman, say the incident will not change the way they do business or hand down sentences.
It will have absolutely no effect on the decisions I make or the job I do. It's certainly going to make me more aware of security and I'll be looking over my shoulder a lot more now.
Zeman says she hopes county leaders will take time now to look at increasing security at the courthouse. The attack on the Tippecanoe County Courthouse is a shocking wake-up call for many in this normally calm community. Perhaps even more shocking is the fact that information on how to create weapons like the one used earlier this week is readily available. Amy Flesch has more.
Most people probably don't think this could ever happen near them. But the fact of the matter is, violence can happen anywhere. And information on how to build bombs and weapons is as close as your fingertips. Here at TV 18, within minutes of searching, we were able to find bomb recipes that seem similar to the device used at the courthouse.
Unfortunately, bomb-making information has been available for a long time in print, in books, pamphlets, magazines, and is now available on the internet. And it does present a challenge. It's available for anybody who wants it. Information on making homemade destructive devices or homemade bombs is extremely dangerous. To mix chemicals, to fool with these things, there are thousands of accidents every year.
So just getting recipes for how to make a bomb doesn't mean it will work, but it's hard to know who could be involved.
We found sophisticated devices that we later found were put together by high school kids, and we found very basic devices put together by people with sophisticated knowledge. So there's no rule of thumb really on these construction of these devices.
Peterson says he can't discuss the current investigation into the courthouse attack, but that we're lucky the device did not ignite. Amy Flesh, TV 18 News.
And we'll talk to some of the firemen who responded to the call on Sunday night, still ahead on Lafayette Live. Also, contractors bid on the Aquatic Center for Columbian Park, and we'll get an inside look at the new apartments in the old Armory. Coming up on Lafayette Live. Industrials closed a little higher, up by 59. The top gainer today among stocks of local interest is First Chicago NBD, up 1 7/8, and the big loser is JCPenney, down 2 1/2.
Now from TV 18, Lafayette's news leader, Sue Scott. Weather with Brian Burden and Rex Troutman Sports. This is Lafayette Live, TV 18 News at 11.
As the courthouse is cleaned and dried up, tips keep flooding into authorities. But tonight, there's still no arrest or break in the investigation into Sunday's attempted bombing of the Tippecanoe County Courthouse. Good evening. Sheriff Dave Murtaugh says authorities have received about 200 tips regarding all aspects of the case, and investigators are actively following up on each lead. All but one floor of the Tippecanoe County Courthouse will reopen tomorrow morning. Chris Morrissey reports that despite the arson attack, there will be no major changes in security for now.
The first floor of the Tippecanoe County Courthouse has the most fire damage and needs more time for repairs. But the second through fifth floors are ready to open Thursday morning. Because of the mess on the first floor, the public will only be able to access the building at certain second floor entrances. For now, there are no plans to significantly change security, but one judge hopes county leaders take a closer look.
It certainly made me more aware of the people that come in and out of our courthouse, and I'm certainly hoping that we'll now take this time to look at increased security measures.
4 years ago, Circuit Judge Ron Melikar asked the U.S. Marshal Service to assess courthouse security. That study recommended several things, including locking all but one set of entrances, screening everyone entering the building, and installing an alarm system. The commissioners at the time had concerns about the cost and access. Now, Commission President John Knakel says a few of the suggestions may be affordable, and the commissioners will take another look.
And we'll probably even continue some discussions as far as security is concerned with the sheriff and some of the judges.
Commissioner Kathleen Hudson says she doesn't know why county leaders didn't do something about security when concerns were raised in 1994. Knakel emphasizes the courthouse belongs to the people of Tippecanoe County, and he does not want to take such extreme security measures that they're shut out. Chris Morrissey, TV 18 News.
A firefighter's job always involves risk, but Sunday night's fire at the Tippecanoe County Courthouse put Lafayette firefighters and police in real peril. Matt Olson reports on how they responded to the danger and how their actions prevented a catastrophe.
No, when we got called out, we thought, yeah, same old damn thing, you know, just false alarm courthouse.
But a couple minutes later, when firefighters from the Lafayette Fire Department Station Number 1 made it downtown and entered the burning courthouse, what they encountered definitely wasn't the same old thing.
I've never seen as black as smoke is what this was. You could hold your hand up. You could not see your hand. It was so black.
And it is so hot that you couldn't touch anything because the heat was tremendous.
After ventilating the courthouse's smoke-clogged first floor, the firefighters noticed a truck on fire, and in its bed, something more menacing, fuel barrels heating up fast.
It was just time that we were working with then because they were already at their point. They had already swelled, ready to go.
But the firefighters were ready too, staring down risk like every other day.
They knew it was dangerous when we found out what was in the vehicle and so forth. Everybody knew what they were exposed to and what the capabilities were. but they didn't lose focus. You lose focus, you lose your concentration, and you can't do your job effectively.
We've got something that unknown to us. We know it's there. We've seen the barrels, but it's unknown. And why is it not going out? Until we just finally combated it long enough and got it out.
With the flames doused, the firefighters made their next potentially explosive discovery. The barrels weren't the pickup's only dangerous cargo. They'd found a makeshift bomb.
We're crawling in there on top of this, and we're going, you know, no way. And yet, there it was.
Eliminating that new threat became the task of federal ATF agents, who later safely detonated the device. Whether it was the bomb or the barrels, the firefighters speak with certainty about the result had either gone up.
Oh, Courthouse wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be here. Yeah. All you would have seen was bricks and glass. You wouldn't have seen nothing else.
Potentially turning downtown Lafayette into a scene like Oklahoma City in April 1995.
You look at this because you've seen the pictures and go, it could have been the same thing.
But because of the work and bravery of firefighters and other emergency crews, it wasn't.
Thank God that the bomb didn't go off and the drums didn't blow, and I thank God that all the guys that were in there with me that day were brave enough and to do their jobs.
Jobs that spared the county's courthouse, but also their own lives.
We were going in as one and we were coming out as one.
Matt Olson, TV 18 News.
The firefighters credit Assistant Chief Ron Holdman for his actions Sunday night, saying his leadership prevented any loss of life. The rains have returned this week, and Clarks Hill is still working on fixing its drainage. That story's coming up. The umbrella handy.
Keep the umbrella handy.
All right, thanks, Randy. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.